We're sitting in the inside of a 2003 Ferrari 360 Moderna. I love how overly simple the design is of the 360. It's not my favorite looking Ferrari in the planet, but I really like how simple everything looks. From the front profile to even the side profile that you get at the 360. It's really one of the underdog Ferraris out there that are, one, pretty cheap, and two, supposedly easier to maintain. This one, of course, does need a little bit of work. Now, when you're stepping inside of a 360 Moderna, you're gonna realize that the interior is unbelievably simple. Everything in here is super analog, which I actually really appreciate, given that the newer Ferraris, they're pretty high tech in here, where they have a screen there, they have a screen here, where they also have a screen there, and it's just a mess. This one just has a simple radio, AC controls, nothing there, and yeah. To open your door is actually rather simple. You just have to lift this leather up, and you even have Alpine speakers back in 2003. Now, when you look at the gauges, you're gonna just have your simple tachometer just right in the middle, a tiny little digital gauge cluster for your trip meter, as well as your odometer, and another one down there. And this part tells you neutral. It's actually rather simple back in an old Ferrari. Down in the center, you're just gonna have your 3 AC vents right up top, a beautiful aftermarket radio. Actually, no, this is a factory radio from Ferrari back in the day, and your 3 simple AC controls right at the bottom, and of course, your window switches for 2 windows. Now, in the center, you could offer a 6-speed gating manual, but this one just has the F1 transmission. You, of course, do have a couple buttons here, a hazard button over here, as well as a switch for your mirror controls, your manual e-brake, and some extra switches in here to actually access your boot. One cool thing I love about Ferraris is that they actually give you a VIN number right here, and it tells you that you have an airbag, and of course, it just says Ferrari right on your steering wheel. Now, underneath the bonnet, you do have a couple of leather pouches that actually just has the service manuals, as well as a couple other accessories back in the day. You also do have an extra pouch. I believe this is actually your spare tire kit or Fix-A-Flat kit. And of course, you do have a filter here, your brake fluid reservoir is here, and you actually have a decent amount of storage inside the front of your 360. Something that I always love about the rear end of the 360 is that you're able to actually see a little bit of that exhaust if you can barely see it. But of course, my favorite thing is the engine, which is just absolutely beautiful. The actual thought process of how the exhaust is actually engineered to just go up and just twirl around to this little muffler over here and just spits out right on the side, it's actually pretty cool. But this 3.6 liter V8 does make quite a bit of power, and they just sound great being a flat plane, naturally aspirated V8 that could be opted with a 6-speed gated manual. And of course, in the market, these are